Hi there, it's Sam from Pootles.co.uk. Thank you very much for joining me today. Today's project is this one, and it's a card. It's a card with a dimensional back. It's a card. I don't make cards on video very often. Well, I do have another exciting one planned next week, but I'm often asked, so I love to do this layered card idea using lots of DSP from the same pack, and I'm often asked, what are the measurements? There are no set measurements, so I'm going to show you my method of doing this. So I knew that I wanted to do it with Whale of a Time, the stamp, punch and paper. So that's the place you start with. So let me scooch that to one side. So I know I'm going to make another version of this. And what you're looking for is 3 patterns that can be cut and fit on a card that have similar colours. So I have, in advance, I have chosen Pretty Peacock. So I'm looking for paper that has got Pretty Peacock in it. And I'm looking for 3 of them. There's some in that one. There's definitely some in that one. And I'm looking for a reasonably plain one as well. So there's some in there. I'm not sure if that's the one I want to go with yet. Some in there as well. What's on the other side of that? That's Pacific Point that's in the back of that. That's no good. Some in that as well. So what you're looking for are 3 colours or 3 patterns at least that have the same basic colouring, and what you want one of them to be reasonably neutral, as in not too much going on in it. So I'm going to take that one. I like that one. I'm not sure about that one yet, and I don't know which whale I want to go with. Do I want to? No, I've changed my mind. Changed my mind as I looked at it. I think that's got too many other colours, so I'm just going to go simple here. And although this has got lots of other colours, I'm just going to keep it quite simple. So I've got Pretty Peacock in all 3 of my patterns. Okay, let me get my trimmer. So let me get off the other piece of paper that was on there. And with my coffee, Chris has just bought me up a cup of coffee. I can't show you, I'll have to drink a little bit. It's got a Dalmatian on the side, too cute. Move that out to one side. So I make tent fold cards, and that is because I find them easier to photograph when they're stood like that than when they're like that. So however you cut your piece of cardstock, you cut it in half and score it in half. It doesn't matter if you are 8.5 by 11 or your international A4, just cut it in half and score it in half, and that is your card blank. Let me burnish that down. You could make a square card, or you could make a mini card or a giant card. It doesn't matter, the principle is the same. So I know the size of that. I'm not going to read out the measurement, that's irrelevant. And I want one of these plainer ones in the background. And do I want that one or do I want that one? I think I want this one. So this background is going to be 1/2 centimetre shorter and narrower, or 1/4 of an inch shorter and narrower. Again, it doesn't matter which measurements you work in. That's the principle you stick to. Okay, so that's my base layer for there. I'm going to pop that to one side, and I've got these 2 panels here. So as you can see on here, it gets smaller and smaller. I find it easiest literally to work. This is the other half of that piece of cardstock I cut. So I eyeball and I just go, that looks like it's going to be about right. So I'll go with that. And there's nothing more scientific than that. I'm just looking and going, that's a good size panel. So I know the measurement of this. So therefore I know that the panel I'm going to take down here is going to be 1/2 centimetre less. Or again, 1/4 of an inch less on both sides. And that means that panel is going to sit just like that. So I'm now beginning to layer up. So I've got a couple of panels there, and I want another one, but I'm going to go squarer, I think, with this one. So that's a nice little square panel. And what's on the other side of that? Too busy. I can't remember what size that was. Okay, so again, my paper panel, 1/2 centimetre shorter and narrower, 1/4 of an inch shorter and narrower, and there's my little piece to sit on the front. And again, we're going to layer those up, but we're not going to worry about that too much. There's still loads and loads of paper left over. I mean, seriously, loads of paper left over. I'm going to put that to one side. Before I put my trimmer away, the next thing I want to do is decide what phrasing and wording I'm going to have on it. I used this one, "You're kind of a big deal" last time. "Hoping your birthday fishes come true," or "Well done," or my love for you is bigger than the ocean." I rather like that. So that is this one. Now, you have to decide whether you're cutting all of your lovely panels over here. If you're cutting in imperial, stick to imperial for this. If you're cutting in metric, which I have been, stick to metric. My paper's the wrong way up, so I'm going to have to measure it this way. I can't. It's going to keep sticking. So here's the brilliant thing about grid paper. For Europe, it's double-sided. Metric one side, imperial the other. Okay, so I'm measuring this at 1.5 by 6. So I've got a little piece of whisper white here. So I'm going to cut that to 1.5 centimetres by 6. And again, because I don't think that's going to be quite long enough, your coloured cardstock, 1/2 centimetre difference. I can move my trimmer now. And the last thing, I'm going to get my whale out because he's gorgeous. Love my whale. And some pretty peacock ink. Can you hear that rain? Oh, shocker. Oh no, I need that out still. And then a long thin block. Fit that on there. "My love for you is bigger than the ocean." What a lovely thing to say. Oh, such a nice thing. I'm just leaving that to dry for a second because I might possibly have got a brand new ink pad. So let's start sticking these down. So I'm going to use seal. I'm going to have to ditch this loose piece of paper because it's going to annoy me. So that's the first one done. The thing with these layered cards is each time they come out differently. You can do them with any paper that you want. There was one year, I don't know if it was last year or the year before, but I went through the entire annual catalogue and did a layered card with every single designer series paper pack that we had. Every single one. And every card looked different because they look different depending on what the embellishments are that you've got on, if you're adding them. They look different because there's no way you could possibly ever remember what you'd cut them to. I couldn't even tell you now. This should be good to cut. Ready now? And yeah, every time they look different and you layer them up differently. So here's the final stage, is deciding where you're going to put things. So if I bring in my original, you see I can't lay it down exactly the same. I have got a panel there that's similar, but I haven't got a rectangle, I've got a square. So, and like I say, depending on where you layer, every time it will look different. See? And then you just move stuff around and you go, yeah, I like it there. No, not keen on it there. That will work. That won't work. And make sure that your borders of background DSP are the same on both sides. It doesn't have to be the same little small measurement, but just so long as you've got the same on both the side and the bottom, or the side and the top. Oh, you see now I don't know where to put that. Yes, yes. There we go, and then a couple of dimensionals on the back of that one. Back of the whale. And that is as simple as it is. Honestly, so simple. The paper is doing all the hard work for me. And they are super, super easy. You'll see that I love to make layered cards like this with pattern paper. I'm such a pattern paper, designer series paper girl. I really am. It's very much my love. I just adore it. So you'll see lots of cards that I do like this. But they always come out different. Anyway, thank you ever so much for joining me. I hope that's helped you. And I hope you get to make some too. Bye.